All right, I'm going to explain how to download Minetest and set it up as a server. So the page that, well, you go to the GitHub, you'll see it says master. That would be the development version. If you want the stable, pick the highest number stable. Now, when you're going to download that, you'll notice that this says minetest.git. If you go to the master branch, you will notice that it also says minetest.git. So actually Ruben Wardy explains how to download the stable version, and but I'm going to do it using the zip file. All right, first on the dev page, devminetest.net, they give a link to a README. That README leads you down to the section on compiling. If you look on the GitHub for Stable 5, you go down, you'll see that there is that section on compiling. Now the first thing you need to do is to enter this. If you're in Linux, Ubuntu, for example, you would sudo apt install, and you'd be sure to get all of these, and I would copy paste them a little bit at a time, because this must be in here in an exact way. So in other words, a good way to do that would be, you see libjpeg-dev, so I would put that, and you see it ends with libjpeg-dev, and then see, you can't miss anything in there. Let's say libopeno-dev. So put that in. And last of all, make sure you get the whole thing. Ends at libjson-cpp-dev. And if I sudo apt install, and actually I don't need to sudo from here, but you notice that there's 22 not upgraded because I've already done this. But I deleted my Minetest folder in here to show you. One part of it is to show you how to do this. Part of it is because for some reason I ended up with 5.4 development on my server, and I want 5.3 stable. So I'm going to show you how to get 5.3 stable in there. All right, now it says down here, sudo apt install git. I already have git installed. And so, but you can put that in and install git. Now the first thing is git clone this. This Minetest. Remember I told you you'll end up getting the development version. You have to look at Ruben's comment here. Git clone the Minetest, but you need -b and stable -5 to ensure you get the stable version. All right, but I'm going to show you how to do it another way. Because if you go up here, verify which version you're using, on the code, there's a zip. So save link as. Sorry. Let's copy the link address. And now we can wget that. If you don't have the wget command installed, you'll have to install that. Okay, so we'll get that. So if you ls, you can see the stable-5 zip is downloaded. So we know for sure that's the -5 version. It says it on the zip at least. So you use unzip. You have to get that command installed for Ubuntu. So and I'm using simply the command line. I have no desktop on this. I uninstalled the desktop. Or you can say I reinstalled the command line. So it's unzipping. They called it Minetest stable. You can use the move command to rename stuff. So instead I'll call it Minetest. And I'll rm-rf stable5. I'll just keep it clean. So now you see I've got that. Now if you look at their directions, let's see, we're compiling. You'll see down here that after git clone, it says cd Minetest. Of course, if you didn't change the name, you'd cd into whatever it's called, Minetest Master or Minetest 5 or whatever. But we changed it to Minetest so we can cd into check directory Minetest. All right, so now we're in that directory if you want to see what's in there. Now you must get the Minetest game next, and you get it in that Minetest folder. We could probably git clone that, because that one is yeah, that one we should just be able to download that using git clone. So we got that. Again, you can look in there. What did we change here? README, build, built-in client, client mods, CMake, doc fonts, games, Minetest conf, mods. Yeah. It's probably the went in the games. I don't know. Yeah, games, Minetest game. Okay. Now, compiling Minetest. So we'll use. I'm going to use the CMake drun in place. Now notice it says dbuild server equals 0 down here. We will want to use dbuild server equals 1 for true, because we're making a Minetest server. So the CMake command, space, and we'll add another setting or a flag or whatever you want to call that. Dbuild server. So you put in there dbuild single dash. So let's go back. And we want a server, so we'll make it equals to 1 for true. Okay, so that's off of the compiling Minetest page. So we're using the CMake command here. All right, and no errors so far, so we're going good. And last of all, we need to make. So we'll use their make command up here. Just copy and paste. And when it's making, it takes a little while. I'm going to go over the commands with you a little bit. We'll look at the manual settings for them, for the different commands at least some of the commands we used. All right, and let's make. All right, it's building that. It's going to take a while. So grep was in there. If you look, you see the grep is right over here. So that is manual grep. It searches for patterns in each file. Patterns is one or more patterns separated by new line characters. And grep prints each line that matches a pattern. Typically, patterns should be quoted when grep is used in a shell command. All right, and it has a -c next to it. So it looks like it's looking for the CPU info thing. So the grep, -c. So if we look for -c, we go down using I use man space grep in the command line. And -c, apparently general output control, -c is like count. Suppress normal output, instead prints a count of matching lines for each input file. With the -v or -- invert match option, see below, count non-matching lines. So there's a lot of information on grep. You could look that up if you want. Okay, another one is cmake. We use the cmake command before we use the make command. Okay, so you type man space cmake, and it says here, we used a dot after that. Oh no, we used drun in place. I think those commands, I don't think they're options here. I think they're options specific to the Minetest. All right, so let's see. cmake with options uses the current working directory as the build tree and path to source as the source tree. The specified path may be absolute or relative to the current working directory. All right, so generate a project build system. Run cmake with one of the following command signatures to specify the source in build trees and generate a build system. So you can type man, M-A-N, space cmake to get that in the terminal. All right, we're at 38% as it's building. The make command. So the make is what had the -j and the grep inside the parentheses with the -c. So the make -j with the $sign. Well, the make is GNU make utility to maintain groups of programs. The make utility will determine automatically which pieces of a large program need to be recompiled and issue the commands to recompile them. The manual describes the GNU implementation of make, which was written by Richard Stallman and Roland McGrath, and is currently maintained by Paul Smith. Our examples show C programs since they are very common, but you can use make with any programming language whose compiler can be run with a shell command. In fact, make is not limited to programs. You can use it to describe any task where some files must be updated automatically from others. Whenever the others change. To prepare to use make, you must write a file called the make file that describes the relationships among files in your program. and states the commands for updating each file. In a program, typically the executable file is updated from object files, which are in turn made by compiling source files. Once a suitable make file exists, each time you change some source files, this simple shell command, make, suffices to perform all necessary recompilations. The make program uses the makefile description and the last modification times of the files to decide which of the files need to be updated. For each of those files, it issues the commands recorded in the makefile. All right, let's see. The make has a -J with a $sign. Well, let's see. I know -J means jobs. Specifies the number of jobs, commands to run simultaneously. If there is more than one -J option, the last one is effective. If the -J option is given without an argument, make will not limit the number of jobs that can run simultaneously. When make involves a submake, all instances of make will coordinate to run the specified number of jobs at a time. So I don't know. I see there's a $sign with the parentheses after the J. Perhaps that is the argument for that. And those are perhaps the jobs in there. In any case, that's a little description of the command. Git. So you notice I use git clone, and Ruben Wardy suggested git clone to get to stable 5. This statement here with the -B. So using git, it says here git, the stupid content tracker. Git is a fast, scalable, distributed revision control system with an unusually rich command set that provides both high-level operations and full access to internals. See Git Tutorial 7 to get started. There's a lot. I mean, this page is pretty much, there's a lot of Git commands and a lot to learn. I didn't know. Until I saw Ruben Wardy's thing, I didn't even realize Git had all this. So I appreciate him posting that. It made me realize how much I didn't know, which is always good to know. Git checkout was the second thing here. He used git checkout stable 5. Now git checkout switch branches or restore working tree files. So obviously he's using that to switch to the branch stable 5. So it updates files in the working tree to match the version in the index or the specified tree. If no path spec was given, git checkout will also update head to set the specified branch as the current branch. So the format is git checkout and branch. So you see here he put the branch after the git checkout, stable -5. That's that one. And git clone was the main one for me to use with the -B. So clone a repository, which we did, and the -B command in there with the name or the branch name, he put the branch name after that, which was stable 5. So instead of pointing the newly created head to the branch pointed by the clone repository's head, point to name branch instead, which is what we needed to do, the 5 branch in a non-bare repository. Okay, so it's still building. So actually, let's get back to this and let's see what we got now. So if I /bin/Minetest server, we have a basic game of Minetest running. And in fact, let me show you. Hold on a second. So I logged in as a guy named Test into the server we just built. And here it is. I'm in a basic game. Let me move it up a little bit. Look at the inventory. There's no mods installed yet. I showed you in another video how to install mods. Let me exit this. And if you want to stop it, you do Control-C, Control-C at the same time. And if we look in the Worlds folder, and then in the World, there's no mods folder in there. What I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to show you, I had a server running. I'm going to take the, did you notice the version of the server that I had running was 5.3? Anyway, so this is the stable version that we got. What I'm going to do in the next video is show you how to take your old server and move it back in this one. In other words, my Minetest conf I'm going to delete from here, and the worlds folder I'm going to delete. And I'll show you, in fact, let me... in the backups, what I did was I took my server and I just copied the whole Minetest folder with everything in it. So I'm going to copy stuff out of the Minetest folder here into there and the mods, and we're going to be in a fully developed world with everything in there. It should work. So anyway, that's how you set up a basic Minetest server. Hope that helps you.